Yeah, it really won't be any different at all. Same number of reps, same process. We'll just move guys around to different spots. Create some opportunities for a few younger guys, and then also the way we organize our defense for some guys to play some different spots. So you look at it as an opportunity to create versatility within your defense.
Hey, Coach, Kirk McEwen from 98 Rock. How did you arrive at the 7 defensive players besides Marlon when he was around everybody on the team?
We didn't arrive at that. That's a process that happens with the tracking NFL tracking process and the medical people, our medical people, and mainly their medical people. So they just give me the list.
Hey, John, Bo Smolka with Pressbox. Regarding the 7 players who are in isolation, how will travel work for them to get to Indianapolis? Will they travel separately? Has that been worked out yet?
My understanding is they'll travel with us on Saturday. They'll be cleared Saturday to practice. So as long as there's no positive test, they'll be in the building Saturday morning. They'll go through the Saturday walkthrough practice and travel with us to Indianapolis.
John Dave Ginsburg, AP. Heading to Indianapolis, you've lost Ronnie Stanley. You've got this thing going. I know you don't take a poll of the locker room, but have you noticed that the spirit of the team remains the same, and it's just we got a game to play. Let's go.
Guys are excited to play. Absolutely, guys are fired up. Other guys get opportunities. People are excited for their opportunities. Nobody wants to see somebody get hurt or whatever the case may be. But it always is an opportunity for the next man to go in there and play great, and that's what guys work hard for, their opportunity.
Coach, this is Ryan Mink from Ravens Media. Can you talk about what you've seen from Orlando Brown, stepping in at left tackle? Obviously, he played a lot in college. How have you seen him adjust to that so far?
I think he's done really well. He's done a good job. I don't know what else to say. He played well.
Coach, it's Todd Carpenter from SI. Second week in a row, you play a top 5 defense. The Colts are tough. They don't seem to have many weaknesses in the front or in the back. Use that phrase, iron sharpens iron. How's it going for the Steelers to prepare you for another, tough matchup against an aggressive defense?
Right. Well, that's how it is in this league. I mean, you play great people, great players, coaches, teams. Every team has their strengths. Every team has their weaknesses, and within that, nobody's invincible by any stretch. And so you get ready to go. We respect every opponent. We certainly respect the Colts. I mean, they've got a great record. They've got a great, obviously their defense is highly rated statistically, and you can see why on tape. They're well coached. I think they do a great job. Their coaching staff, like you said, they don't really have any weaknesses personnel-wise out there. They have a nice scheme. So you take it as you find it, and you go out there and you compete.
John, you guys haven't lost a game on the road in 14 months or so. Is there just a feeling of unity when you guys get out there? Is it how can you explain playing so well on the road when it's a tough row in the NFL?
Well, I know that we played well on the road. We have taken care of the football for the most part. We played very good defense for the most part and special teams. We played winning football, bottom line. All the things that entails situationally and otherwise. And that's why we won those games.
Coach, this is Darren Haynes from WSA in Washington, D.C. I was just curious. A lot of people have been staying up late trying to watch the results of the election. Can you describe the last 24 hours for you trying to prepare for a game, but also wondering what's going to happen with the presidential election?
Well, I don't know. I've been doing a lot more preparing for the game than wondering what's going to happen with the presidential election. Personally, I did vote yesterday morning. A lot of our coaches and stuff had already voted. My wife actually voted early too, but I had to go wait in line, which was okay. It took about 20 minutes, 25 minutes over there at Owings Mills High School. They were great, very efficient, great attitude. So kind of enjoyed that. And, that's it. And then back to work.
Hey, John, this is Childs at the Sun. I know the news on the COVID test beyond Marlin has been good so far. It sounds like. But have you heard any conversation about postponement scenarios or anything like that?
About what kind of scenarios?
Postponement scenarios or anything like that? Bumping the game a day.
No, I've heard. Oh, thanks. Yes, postpone. No, we've heard. I've personally heard nothing about that. No.
Hey, John, this is Aaron at Penn Lab. Just to be clear, you mentioned the players could be cleared on Saturday. Would that be a specific time Saturday? Do you need to adjust your schedule to be able to fit them into a walkthrough or something like that?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's 5 days would be up by then, as far as I know. That's what I was told. If that's different, I'm sure someone will let me know here, hopefully soon.
John, this is Jeff Zrebeck from The Athletic. Have you gotten positive reports about how Marlin is feeling?
No, I haven't got any reports on that.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, John, yeah, this is Aaron again. Just a little more of a football question. Obviously, you've played Phillip Rivers before, and he's been in the league for so long. Do you see anything different about him and Frank Reich's scheme, and how would you sort of evaluate his play so far?
Well, I think he's played really well. He's just, it's kind of a classic. He's a classic NFL quarterback, and one of the best there is over the last 15, 18 years. Kind of in the same mold as Ben that way. They're not exactly the same. I don't mean to say that they're the same, but I mean the way they operate is very similar. They understand their particular scheme inside and out. They know what they want to get up against different kind of defenses. They do a really good job of IDing the defense, and then they know where to go with the ball once the ball snapped. What either the weakness in the scheme is, or the best matchup might be. That's what those guys do so well, and they're accurate throwers. He's throwing the ball very accurately, and he's completing a lot of passes. So it's kind of what he's doing. I don't think it's a lot different than what he's done before. He's playing, Phillip Rivers football for sure. The offense is definitely built around him, absolutely, and I think Coach Reich has done a good job of that. We've got some emerging young receivers that are making some plays. Got 3 good tight ends. Got a very strong offensive line, and they've invested a lot in that offensive line. And then you got 3 running backs who are playing well. You got the rookie from Wisconsin, who is very big, fast player, and then 2 other guys who are just. I think that Wilkins really stepped it up last week. I mean, he was kind of the bell cow for him last week. So they're kind of going with a guy, maybe with a hot hand. They roll them all. They play them all similar number of plays. So they've got a lot of versatility there with that offense.
Hey, John, it's Luke Jones with WNST. On the other side of the ball, DeForest Buckner was kind of their big acquisition in the offseason, and you guys saw him against San Francisco last year. What kind of challenge does he bring, especially for the interior part of your line that's dealing with some injuries?
Right. Well, you're right. We saw him last year, and so we have a little bit of a feel for him. And just a very disruptive player. Just really a powerful guy. He's not the biggest guy in terms of thickness and all that, but he's got a great ability for his length to bend and punch, and he's heavy-handed and shed and get off blocks and hold his point and all those things. Also, an athletic 3 technique. With the stretch stuff, it's hard to cut him off. It's hard to reach him. He does a good job rushing the passer in there. So, he's got to be considered one of the premier 3 techniques in the league for sure. A big addition for him. They got a really nice guy that we liked in the draft, Grover Stewart, and the nose guard is 350 pounds. He's a tremendous athlete. So 2 really good tackles. Their ends, the ends. I mean, these guys are guys who've established themselves in this league. They can burn the edge. They're good edge setters. One of the best inside linebackers in football, and Leonard. He's really made a name for himself the last couple of years. He's rangy, but he also runs through gaps, downhill guy. And, it's a really well-rounded defense. I think the defensive coordinator does really well with those guys. And, obviously you already said it. They're a top defense.
Hey, John, it's Mark Viviano. You mentioned the opportunity for those players who otherwise wouldn't get as much practice time. They have that opportunity. For the guys who don't get to practice, any impact expected when they step on the field and are able to play on Sunday for their not being able to be out there?
Well, I think we'll find that out. I think it's impossible to predict that, Mark. I mean, you see guys sometimes they don't practice all week and they come out and they play the best games of their careers, and other guys struggle. They might miss something. It's just really impossible to predict that. I don't spend a lot of time, being anxious about that because it's really, kind of a waste of time. But they're going to be expected. They'll be in all the meetings. They'll be watching all the tape and get all the corrections and stuff like that. And then they'll be expected to work out, work out virtually and run and all the things that they need to do to be ready physically. So that's the best we can do with it. And you just take it as you find it that way, and we'll make the best of it.
Yeah, John, this is James again. You mentioned about, I was wondering about the working out. I mean, do they have things to work out at their homes to do this? I mean, how is that possible? I mean, obviously they don't have anything what you have at the facility.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. Each guy's different. The strength coaches work that out with the guys, what equipment they have, and they figure out a way to get a great workout in. And I don't know what you've got in your home, Jamison, but if you want to get with one of our strength coaches later this afternoon, if they have time, you could see, they put you through a pretty good workout. You could see how it's possible to get a great workout with whatever you have at the house there.
I never turned down help.
Okay, that wraps up, Coach. Thank you for your time, Coach. To the media, we're going to send you to a quick waiting room. So good mic drop, Jamison.